Gaming Today presents Cash Considerations.
Welcome to the Cash Considerations podcast. Today is Thursday, October 8th, but you may not be listening to it on Thursday, but we're recording it on Thursday. We got all kind of things happening in the world of sports. We got football, baseball, still got basketball. We're going to hit it all. We got a special guest tonight, longtime buddy of mine. We're going to bring him to the Cash Considerations audience. Before we do, let's welcome the boys. First of all, Reynolds is producing the show back east, hanging on with his internet by a thread. So we're going to try to get through everything as fast as we can. Thank you, Reynolds, for getting it all together. The boys at Percent Berg, Alan Berg. AB, what's up?
Oh, man, just the usual, living the dream, working way too much.
Fair enough. And sweating the Bears game over his shoulder, ladies and gentlemen, on the YouTube feed at GT Cash Consider. You can watch AB trying to see if Foles is going to be the answer here for this Bears team. Sitting next to him, Mo Toy Pearson. Mo, what's up, brother? At Heed These Takes. What's going on?
What's the deal? What's going on? I'm glad we actually got to do the show. That's good. I'm sweating out Houston right now. They're up big on Tulane after being down after a terrible first half, so that's looking good.
There you go. Okay. That's what we need. We need that. We need Mo sweating stuff. That's always good for the show. So without further ado, we're just going to bring in our guy here. He's going to stay with us the whole show because, right now you want to talk about somebody seeing the NFL pretty clearly. This guy is. We're going to welcome Tom Lippard to the show. At Lippard Tom, LIPPARDTOM on Twitter. Lip, I have you down as the longtime Vegas sharp. That's what we're going to go with as the introduction. What's up, brother?
Well, I'll take it. You call me a sharp, our days go way back to fantasy football 15 years ago where I think I was managing your team right from the get-go. I've been around with you for a while and, been living this lifestyle my entire life, man.
Nice.
Well, that's where we're going to start. First of all, for the YouTube feed, people, Lip is wearing Buffalo hat. He's got Buffalo Bills sweatshirt on. You're a Buffalo guy. Bills Mafia, is this a real thing?
This is definitely a real thing. You could check my Twitter handle a couple of years ago. I was blowing up Buffalo and the ownership about getting this kid under center. I think the world of this kid. He's a mix between Roethlisberger and Jim Kelly, and he's the fourth best quarterback in the NFL in my mind already. And, Josh Norman's coming in the mix. There's no question we're for real.
AB, would you like a follow-up question?
Who? Me?
Would you like a follow-up question? He opened up the door to Josh Allen, and I just wanted to see if you had something to add to that conversation right now.
Well, as I said, I bet them to win the Super Bowl 2 weeks ago. So, I'm on board a little bit. I'm just terrified of the one play he makes that's going to cost them everything. That's the one thing that worries me about Josh Allen.
Lip, do we see that? Could that be a possibility? 20-1 was still available at the Westgate not that long ago. Can you just break it to him about being a Bills fan in the Super Bowl? You live it.
Oh, yeah, I've lived it for years. I had season tickets my whole life to the 4 years we went. Growing up, I've had season tickets on the 50. It's been, last couple of decade or so has been very depressing. But in regards to what you're saying, if you're questioning if Buffalo's real, are you watching the games? They're hands down the best team in the division. New England has no talent whatsoever. Buffalo is a two-game league. They're getting Josh Norman back, like I mentioned. That's a huge addition. And there's no quarterback that has improved more since his, coming into, the league since Josh Allen. He's as good as it gets right now.
Okay.
As a huge Josh Allen critic, I have to say, I think he's looked way better. But there's every now and then I watch a play. Like, you remember when he missed the guy in the end zone at the goal line?
Sure. Yeah, I think he threw it into the stands, I think.
Yeah. That's the only thing, that just, it scares me. But as I said, I got on board, man, because I think their D's for real. I love their coach. I'm a huge fan of that coach. I think he's one of the probably best 5 guys at this point in the league.
Yep.
So we'll see, man. I think they're live, man. They're live.
No question.
So let's take us back here. We're currently, in Vegas. What was the first trip to Vegas for you that made you say, I'm coming out here, I'm moving out here and leaving Buffalo?
Well, actually, I was from Buffalo originally. I lived in Florida for a couple of years and moved up to Charlotte. I was in business, and one of my best friends was running a golf course out here. So I decided to come out, get involved with that a little bit. I've always wanted, I was the guy basically in high school that was taking everybody's money, so I've been around this business for a long time. No IRS on that, but,
right.
Doing that is good. But, no, I've been around the industry my entire life, so I've never been scared of it, been confident in, my abilities and relationships and stuff. So that's what, lured me out for the most part.
So, we really got to hang out a little bit at the M when that all started. And I got to watch you, make plays and talk about plays and different things like that. Has there ever been a better time for someone like you on the other side of the counter than those beginning days at the M and able to either get down stuff or, we took bets. There was no doubt about that. And we, didn't throw anyone out or any of that stuff that may or may not go on. Was that the high time for you since you've been out in Vegas?
Well, the industry's changed quite a bit. I would say back in the heyday when we were doing business together, more or less, when you saw a number run, you knew what the right side was. So there's a lot of mix and match of a lot of, people that are doing things, they see the screen move, they think it's real, they really don't understand what is right, what is wrong. So experience, relationships, those types of things are invaluable at these times for me. So, when I see something move, for the most part, I kind of know when it's real, when it's not real, know when to buy and those types of things. So, yeah, I mean, it's, the education level, it's not something you're going to find in the quick, I wouldn't recommend what I do for many people, but yeah, I mean, it's a great time with expanding into different states and a lot of things. So yeah, there's a lot of opportunity, no question.
I know you're a golf guy.
Love golf. I love golf.
We just did an article. Our guy Vic Choksey interviewed AB, myself. The thing that I mentioned was to specialize in one thing. Like if there's a lot of people get too involved with all these different sports and all, they want to be the expert and win every day and all this stuff. You can speak personally. You can't win at everything, and you can't, you can't get the best number. You're a golf guy. Like, is that your best sport that you prefer to wager on, or you specialize in anything else?
Well, I mean, without bringing too many names into this, I have a lot of people that if you're a sports bettor, you have relationships with different people. So everybody's their own boss. So what I may be good at, someone else may not be good at. What someone else is very good at, I may not be good at all. So golf for me, as much as I love it, I wouldn't say it's my number one handicapping sport. I go to 8, 10, 15 events, walk around with the top, players in the world, Tiger with these guys, hand in hand. I walk fast, think fast, do those types of things. So I enjoy that aspect of going out and doing that. Now with the pandemic, I haven't been able to do that. So, I've been, trying to take more of the dad role type of thing, which you would know, Dave.
Right.
No, but the NFL, I mean, for years, I've done very well in the NFL. It's a very simple concept for me. Anytime you can tease through 3 and 7, you automatically do it. I don't care if you're laying minus 120. I would push it up to 125. So anytime you can tease through 3 and 7, this is a good week to do that. I think that there's opportunity to make money doing that in the NFL. I do take my shots. You can see me in the contest. I play my own plays. The last year was a little bit of an off year. The year before that, I was right up there again. This year, I'm off to a really good start, too. So NFL for me is pretty good.
We're going to get to that here in 1 second.
Sure.
I got to ask you.
Sure.
So the Shriners is here in Vegas at TPC Summerlin.
Yep.
If we go play next week, Lip,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
what are you shooting? Now, there's a lot of people that listen to the show that know us both and know you and don't bullshit anybody here. What are you shooting? I'm going to give you a total.
Yep.
79.5. We going over or under?
Well, if we're betting, then I'm saying I'm going way over. You know what I mean? If we're playing for, what I need to know the stakes before I'm going to, I don't have a handicap. You know what I mean? It's for free and I don't even have one. So I'd have to know exactly, what we're stating here. But 79.5 right now with the amount of play that I've been playing, I would take the over.
Okay.
Even though it's a pitch and putt course, it's a very easy course, but I just haven't been playing.
Yeah, somebody may set a record this week there. It's going to be a birdie fest.
Yeah, Bryson shot 59 and the Pro-Am shot 62 today. It's a pitch and putt for those guys.
All right, last question before we get to our usual stuff, breakdown games and stuff. You're 16-3-1 in the Westgate contest after 4 weeks. Good enough for second place in the standings. I saw you picked up $25K.
Right on.
Yep. For winning that.
The big time. I love that. It's insane. Really
Yeah.
good.
What the fuck are you doing to be 16-3 in the Westgate contest after 4 weeks?
Okay, well, it's very simple. Okay?
It's easy. No, it's fucking easy. It is easy.
Well, all right.
It's got to be easy. You're telling me. No, I'm totally kidding. Go ahead, Tom. My bad.
Well, let's identify shit teams. A lot of, most handicappers are looking who's playing well and these types of things or whatever. Well, I'm doing the opposite. Who can't play? Who's having trouble, continuity, even coming out of, the start of the season with, if you even remember New Orleans in week 1 playing at Vegas, all the stuff that had gone back to Drew Brees, what he put on his social media and stuff, the continuity of the locker room, they weren't together. You look at Green Bay. That's the opposite of what I'm talking about now. But, they feel like, he feels like he's in practice and get things going. You look at other teams like the Eagles that they're just decimated with injuries. So I'm looking at these bad teams to start with, and I'm going right from there. That's exactly where I'm starting, right from the get-go, every single week.
There it is. That is simple, Mo. See? All right. Well, we're going to get to our run and shoot 7 right now.
Great.
And before we do, I just wanted to mention to be sure to sign up for the weekly Gaming Today newsletter, which highlights the latest stories from the sports betting and casino industry world. All you have to do is put your email address in the box on the gamingtoday.com homepage. All right. So, format of the show is going to be this, fellas. We're doing the NFL. We call it the run and shoot 7. We're going to bang this out. Then we got, maybe mention a game or two otherwise because we got the fucking expert right now on the show, right? Tom Lippard, 16-3-1 again in the Westgate contest. College by Mo is what I have listed here. Gave us some plays last week. They were pretty good. NBA, brief discussion because it's going to be brief. A little baseball. You guys can indulge me a little bit in that. And then we're going to take a minute at the end where we do a segment where you can take 1 minute and vent or say anything you want to anyone that's listening. And we'll welcome you to do that. You don't have to do that, but yes, do it. And I know you got a lot to say, so you can figure out something to say for 30 seconds to a minute. All right, here we go. Number 7, counting down from the least. In the Pythagorean theorem, by the way, we're going to have to market this, AB. Somebody really – I've been taking DMs all week. How do you come up with the games? We can't tell people how you come up with the games, right?
Correct. Classified.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we don't even tell Mo.
Computer deal.
You guys already know too much.
I don't
at this
know.
point.
I don't know anything. So I don't know what that means, what you're saying.
All right. In this master theory this week, actually really came out with some good stuff. We're starting at number 7, the Battle of Pennsylvania. Eagles at Steelers.
God.
Steelers consensus pretty much 7, 44.5. All the shit going on Twitter. They're talking about what's a better sandwich, a Permane Brothers sandwich in Pittsburgh or Pat's cheesesteak. Tom, anyone that's been back east, the people in Philly don't even like Pat's. Everybody loves the Permane's cheese, sandwich.
Sure.
It's not even close. And knowing that, I'll go first. The Steelers are going to beat the Eagles by double digits. That's my analysis. Lip, I'll go to you first.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of see the game a little bit differently here. The Eagles, to me, look like they're getting a little bit healthier on offense. They've struggled with stretching the field. Deshaun Jackson's been on the practice field early in the week. I expect him to go. I think the time off for Bennett is not really helping at this point with the COVID week off. I mean, he's the type of player that normally typically likes to get in rhythm. They are having, showing up on the injury reports now is over the last couple of years is big for me. I mean, Friday night, I really don't have my place until then. But Watt is dealing with the knee injury this week, which is, an issue for them there moving forward. I expect them to play. Jeffrey did start for Philadelphia, was practicing early in the week. He did not practice today. I don't know if that's a setback. The same thing happened early last week where he practiced early and then couldn't go. I do think the Eagles' defense is slightly underrated. The Cincinnati beating in the tie. I think the Eagles' defense is halfway decent in this game. I think 7's a lot in this game.
Okay.
It's probably not going to make my card, but I mean, right off the list here, if you're getting 7 in the hook, I think it's a play. 7, I don't think it's a bad play on the dog. I don't love the game, but I lean Philadelphia.
AB, agree, disagree?
I have no interest in this game. I didn't even want to talk about it.
Fair. Mo, I'm sure you're the same way.
No, my bad. Sorry.
Welcome to the show, Mo. Come on in.
No, I heard everything. I got it all figured out. Somehow this game's gonna land 7. I don't really have any analysis or anything on this game.
There it
I
is.
just feel like at some point it's gonna land 7, and that's how it's gonna end up playing out. So
Makes
otherwise,
perfect sense.
I don't have much on the game at all.
I know this was a token, throw-in job by AB in the formula. I know no one wanted to talk about it, and he gave me. He said, "Here, throw Dave a bone, and we'll talk about the Battle of Pennsylvania." Nobody really gives a shit. I get it.
I really hope it lands 7. I really
Well, here's another game that is 7. Vikings, Seahawks,
oh my God.
-7. The total open high 58 and a half. It's down to 56 and a half. The Vikings give up a league worst 31.3 points a game. The Seahawks score a league best 35.5 points a game. The line is 7. Boys, I'll go to you first. Whoever wants to jump in here, AB, what are you thinking?
I was sitting here trying to figure out if our ceiling plays are 2-0 or 1-1.
2-0.
2-0. All right.
2-0.
Yeah, we'll just do it again then. Here we go.
There it is for
I see
the
where it's going.
listeners
It
on
can't go
YouTube.
much higher, but it's going there.
The ceiling play, it's only here on the Cash Considerations podcast. The total is going down, and AB tilted the camera up. It's over. It's going over. I mean, they may get to 100 here. Mo, side, or just sticking with the ceiling play?
Oh, well, I'm going to stick with the ceiling play no matter what, considering we haven't lost yet, or Allen hasn't lost yet.
Yeah.
I think it's just hard to bet against the Seahawks at this point. I don't really know what's the deal or as far as what the Vikings can do. I know they have a lot of upside coming in offensively, which I've seen. I've been pretty impressed with Cousins. I never really said that ever. I don't think I've ever said that ever. But I wouldn't tell anybody to bet against the Seahawks at this point. I don't really have a pick or anything like that right now.
I think
Tom, are the Vikings on the bad team list?
Well, there's a couple of things in this game. First of all, I mean, you have to identify that it's a night game. It's a primetime game. Look at Kirk's record. I mean, I know there's no fans and stuff there, but there's nobody that hides in games worse than he does at this point.
That's correct.
Now, they've made a big adjustment in Minnesota with moving Jefferson out of the slot to the outside. He's making a lot of plays there. He's a rookie. But from what I've heard and read, he's, breaking huddles, knows where to line up, knows what he's doing. So it's another option for Cousins in that regard. I think currently right now that Delvin Cook is the second best running back in the game. Kamara right now has been unstoppable. But Delvin Cook is an absolute handful. Now, Seattle has the recipe to win the Super Bowl. They have players on that offense that are competing to even be on the roster. Some of these guys that aren't even getting on the roster, I mean, Josh Gordon's not available now, but they have a plethora of weapons on the offensive side of the ball. Now, for years, they've tried to run the ball and be conservative. They've got Russ cooking now. And Russ Cooking is unstoppable at this point. Right now, he's the MVP of the league. It's a difficult game on the 7 number. Again, if it does climb up and the true experts really like it, it would fit my theory of 3-7 tees down and use Seattle in that regard. But for a card play, I'm having a difficult time of just identifying playing a side.
Okay. Yeah, this is a definite hard game to put on the card. I mean, in the contest, 7 is the right number. It gives you pause, maybe to grab Minnesota, but as far as the total, this is over. Ceiling play, easy.
Yeah, with Jamal Adams
lock it
got ruled out, so I agree. I'm surprised they're driving it down. In Seattle, I mean, it did stay under it. It went over middle for a lot of the experts last week, so it's been going over. I just don't see their defense playing at that level. I think there will be points. I kind of agree with you guys on the over a little bit too.
Yeah, I think Zimmer's going to figure it out with all the changes they had in the secondary, but I don't think they're there yet to hang with the Seahawks.
Oh, they lost a lot of pieces in the offseason too.
Yep.
I mean, they've lost a lot of pieces on that defense. So it will get better, but it could take some time.
Yeah.
Number 5, run and shoot 7. Raiders at the Chiefs. The Chiefs obviously 4-0. The Raiders 2-2. They're going to make the list every week. I just don't know where probably in the 7 the Raiders games are going to come. But we're looking at like 12 on the Chiefs, 55 for the total. I don't know. I'm interested to see what you say. Mo, we'll kick off with you here. Chiefs go against Mahomes again. Is there ever a time that is a good time to go against Patrick Mahomes?
Did my eyes light up? Yeah, my bad. You came right at me. My bad. No, once again, this is another team I would never lay against, especially at this point. That Patriots game was just absurd. Like those last few drives, just the interception from Tyrann Mathieu to get into the end zone to push the Chiefs to cover that game was absurd. But yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just losing my faith in the Raiders. I feel like they're competitive. Especially right now in a division game, there's a lot of things that they can do that Gruden could probably do against the Chiefs that could maybe stifle them for a little bit. But I think the offense overall will just kind of overpower the Raiders, and at some point they'll be up by 20 in this game and probably cover that number.
Tom, is this one of those games where you kind of look to not play because of the spread or the question marks? I mean, I'm looking at it. I can't see the Raiders stopping the Chiefs much. I think the Chiefs stop the Chiefs, incomplete passes, drop passes, whatever. But the Raiders defense is one of the bottom 5 in the league, in my opinion. I don't see them stopping them here.
Well, I think what needs to be identified here is the beginning of the season, week 1, an offensive line in Vegas that looked very good, but they have accumulated some serious injuries. I mean, Incognito getting pulled out has, really hurt the running game. Like you said, the Buffalo game, they came in, they're catching 3 at home. They've had some injuries. I don't think they're fully healthy. Kansas City is, to me, the best team in football. I agree with you there. I do think it'll, probably be a competitive game for 2-3 quarters. But if Kansas City gets going here, I don't want to be on the dog here and be, like you said, they're down 20, and then all of a sudden you're holding a ticket with less than 13, and you really don't even have a chance at a backdoor cover. With all that being said, again, it's a very difficult week for the Cards this week in the Super Contest because of the 2 games being pulled. But in all honesty, I don't see myself playing this game at all.
AB, anything here?
Well, it's funny. I'm going to make probably the dumbest bet I've ever made this week, which I'm not going to actually even get into. But you'll figure it out, I think, as you hear the rest of the show. I was very upset that this money line kind of crashed today because I felt like the Raiders played the Chiefs pretty good the 2 times they played last year. And I think Tom hit it right there, was that they played them good for two or 3 quarters, and then the game got away from them. And I remember, I feel like the Chiefs covered both times, but you were like, wait, how is it 27-10? It was 14-10 the whole game. So yeah, it's probably helping me out, but I thought it was interesting that we were seeing $6 and now you see shops at plus 450. I don't know. It's interesting, but I'm in the same boat. If I'm not getting 6-1 or 14 in this game. It's no bargain as far as I'm.
I agree with you somewhat, and I would like to chime in again here too. I think that Vegas, to be competitive, they really have to run the football. They need play action.
Yeah.
They're not going to just spread you out with. I mean, Henfro's a nice guy, but he gets hit once. I mean, he's going to get up dinged up in these types of things. I mean, Waller's a great player, but if you double him, I mean, if you really look at the success of Vegas, or Oakland back in the day, they're really running the ball and, they're establishing some toughness. I haven't seen that in the last few games, and that is going to create turnover, sacks, problems on offense, and I don't like that.
Well, that's the only way you can beat Kansas City. They got the playbook from New England with Hoyer at quarterback, and they ran the ball, and they limited, drives. That's the only way you're going to win. That's the only way the Raiders are going to stay close in this one.
Yep.
All right, this is number 4.
We don't have enough time to talk about Hoyer. Right now, no. We don't have enough time for that.
It's going to be a segue if it's the Texans up next.
Peterman's the backup for the other side, so I mean, geez.
Yeah, I mean, it's just comedy of errors.
Him in there. I'm a Buffalo fan. I saw him throw 5 interceptions in a half.
Well, speaking of 5 interceptions, Hoyer had 5 turnovers in the first half of a playoff game of the team we're about to talk about.
Exactly.
Tom and Bob should have got fired.
Man,
Hoyer
Jacksonville.
For 7 different teams. This guy's still in the league. We can't shake him. I went over this in shows in the past.
Yeah.
When I knew he was going to start, I said, this is some bullshit. I said that in the wrist room. I said, this motherfucker's going to start again. And everyone was laughing, and I was the only one not laughing. I said, this is another chance.
We might get Hoyer versus Fitzpatrick again somehow. That might be the 3rd time on 3 different teams. I don't know. It might be a fact.
It could happen. Well, what's not going to happen is in this game, Jacksonville Texans. I thought we would be done with the Texans now that Bob is not in the mix anymore. And somehow they found their way to the number 4 spot in the formula. So I know AB was cooking this one up. I mean, Russ is cooking, but AB's cooking this formula. Texans minus 5.5. The line's coming down. 54.5 is the total. Texans 0-4. Jacksonville 1-3. That's how shit of a card this week is, that this one made the list. I got nothing. Honestly, I don't have a clue what side I would take, what total I would take in this game at all. I'll let you kick us off, Tom. Do you have anything angle here that you could even talk about?
Yeah, I'm in 5 contests. I expect this to be in all 5, believe it or not. I really like – write it down. I like Jacksonville here. I think, let's go back to week 1. They beat the Colts. People are – it's – they come out of the kind of stuff or whatever. Played Cincinnati in a tough game last week. Cincinnati's offense is a lot better than people think. The week before that, they had a chance against the Titans in that game. Now, if you look at Houston going into last week, among 157 offensive linemen with 100 snaps, the Texans have players ranked 152nd, 53rd, and 54th in blown block rate. They have no idea what they're doing on the offensive line. Their defense is a complete joke. They can't stop the run. That's one thing that Jacksonville does well. I expect Jacksonville to be running the ball here. I don't think very much of Minshew, but he should make plays, especially with, the wide receivers healthy here. 5.5 is a joke. This should be down to 3.5, leaning 3 by game time. I'm surprised by this number. I do like Deshaun Watson a lot. He's in a situation that he cannot succeed in. They have no talent. They have no wide receivers. They have no running backs. Now they don't even have a coach, and they're going to lay 5.5. I'm not buying it. Give me Houston or give me Jacksonville. I want Jacksonville in this game. Whatever these sprinkle the money line or whatever you want to talk about, go ahead and that. But take the point.
Excellent.
Man, for a guy with a Minshew mustache, that was really.
I just trimmed it up. It looked like shit before that. It's incredible. My wife actually gives me a kiss once in a while now, so I'm getting better.
Oh, that was one of the best takes of all time from any guest we've ever had on a game.
Actually, he's not even lying. That was easily one of the
that was one of the best ever. I don't even know how to follow it. I'll let you guys fight it out. AB, Mo, anything to follow that one?
I'm just looking for any James Robinson over rushing yards props from here on out. That's what I'm just going to be giving out. And I'm going to say I gave it out myself. I'm going to say that no one else was even involved. I thought of that on my own, and that's how it's going to be. That was great. No, I'm serious. I'm going to bet that. I'm betting it all.
I think he's going to have a huge day.
There you go.
Yards at least. Maybe 300.
I mean, if you have him on your team, you got to start him in fantasy just based on what you just said. But now, I mean, so you think this line closes, Tom? You think it closes 3.5?
I don't think it'll go that low. It may get to, it may get to 3.5. We'll see. You're seeing it come down. I took 6.5 here.
Okay.
See if it would go up to 7 or whatnot. Took some 6.5 here. Probably should have taken a bunch more. I did take more than I want to play. We'll play some back in this situation here. But, yeah, I'm at Jacksonville. I'm not coming off.
AB, see it? Agree?
Well, I have no opinion on the game, but I have to say this about this whole situation. I've been calling for this guy's head for 4 years. Finally happened. One of my favorite dudes to follow on Twitter, this guy Kevin Clark, might have come up with the greatest con job ever. He said, "What if he got fired and he's the next head coach of the Dolphins, which would mean he has the Texans draft picks?"
Oh, no.
I was like, if that happens, I hope there's officers there to arrest him because it would be ridiculous. But thank God he's gone. He should never get another NFL job as far as I'm concerned. He was an absolutely terrible head coach and an even worse general manager. If you think you should trade DeAndre Hopkins for David Johnson, you belong nowhere near the NFL, sir. So,
well, I mean, you just hit the nail on the head, too. You can't take a player of his caliber, Hopkins, off of that team and expect them to be a playoff contender. I mean, it's as simple as that. It's a terrible trade, and they didn't want to pay him. I mean, that's what you get for it.
Yeah, and how do you start 0-4 when you have no first or second round draft picks?
And you have no talent.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't stop the run. I mean, Deshaun Watson's a great player, but he's not playing with them.
Yeah,
right.
Will Fuller is not a number one wide receiver. That's a joke.
No.
And I mean, you just drafted a first round quarterback that's absolutely killing it with your number one wide receiver, and you ship him away. It's just
it was almost like a sabotage. Like he did it, to take him down.
If he shows up in Miami, he needs to be arrested.
All right, we'll keep that one in the log. Speaking of Miami, we got number 3 on the list. The Dolphins go to the Niners. Dolphins, Niners. It's up to 9. 51.5. The Niners are laying 9. Mo, collision of a couple worlds for you. 49ers fan, Tua love. Where do you go with this one, Mo?
I only had it as number 1 because I'm hoping that Tua ends up playing, which I think at some in a game like this he might get a chance to play somehow. Someone was telling me about Jimmy G actually looking pretty good in practice, so he might be a go. What's the line right now? 9.5? I haven't even looked at it.
9.5 everywhere.
I have really no analysis on this game. I'm really just hoping Tua plays at some point. That's all I really care about.
AB, we know how this got into the mix. We know how it made the formula because it is Mo's squad as well as maybe the debut of Tua. Any side here for you or total in this game?
Dolphins outright.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's just kind of taking my team down. But
simple.
I told you I'm betting the worst parlay of my life this week. So
okay,
might as well go for it.
As he takes a sip of the High Noon at High Noon Spritz. There it is right there. High Noon. Highly recommended. And we're in touch with these people for a sponsor. This play brought to you by High Noon. Bad parlay or not, it tastes good.
Ooh, that's got to be correlated because you just said the play was brought to you by it. It's called Sun Sips. I mean, what's sunnier than Miami?
Dave also gave the tagline of good alcohol, bad parlay.
That's what I was going to say. That's what I was saying, yeah.
We're working on it. We got things happening. Tom, this can't be on your card. Please tell me that this is not – you're not looking to play this game with all these injury question marks, things going on. This can't be a consideration for your 5 in your contest.
No, you're right. It's not. I mean, if I had to play it, I would probably lean Miami. For various reasons. San Francisco at home this year has been terrible. I think with the COVID, excuse me, and a lot of the fans not being in the stadiums, San Francisco's team is one of the teams that has really been hurt by, no fans. I mean, that was a very difficult place to play last year. They laid an egg week 1 against Arizona. They looked like Arizona's okay, and they were healthy in that game. So that's a concern there. They lose last week in Philadelphia, which I was cheering against them for various reasons there. And Mullins looked awful in that game. I do agree with the fact that a couple of things that you mentioned earlier, that Jimmy G probably will be back under center. And he's, to me, he's a very average quarterback. The one thing, if I were coaching the 49ers, I would be getting the ball in. What Garoppolo does extremely well, gets the ball and gets it out quickly. Now, they have these first-round draft picks and Samuel and all these other guys, the rookie that they drafted this year. Get the ball in and get it out to these guys quickly. Let them make plays. They're not a team that sits back and
Oh, no. He's frozen. Oh, no.
All right. Move it on.
Move it on. All right. Lip, you sign off and come back. Look at that screenshot.
That's no good for us. Get the ball in and out to elevate that offense slightly. I don't think Fitzpatrick has played bad at this point. He's a veteran in this game. It's a difficult game. I mean, Miami's coming across the country here. Can they stay in the game, or do they get down early and start turning it over? Like you said, Dave, I won't be on the card. Potentially, it does fit my system at 9 if it drops to 8.5 to tease down to 2.5 in that regard. But it's a tough game to call.
All right, you froze for a second, so make sure your connection's good. But for the listeners that may have not heard it, not on the card, but leaning Miami, I would side with the same thing there. Number 2
real quick,
on the list.
Who did the Niners beat? They beat the Jets and the Giants.
Yeah,
that's it, right?
Yep.
yeah, 2-2. Lost to the Cardinals, lost to the Eagles, both at home.
They beat them handily, so don't.
Won both games in the Meadowlands.
Don't do that. Don't fucking do that shit. No.
Speaking of the Meadowlands, we're going there for number 2 of the Run and Shoot 7. The New York Giants play the Dallas Cowboys. 8.5 is the spread. 54 is the total. The Cowboys are 0-4. Or no, I'm sorry. 1-3 and 0-4.
Should be.
I got the records
0-4.
Correct.
Yeah.
Should be 0-4.
Should be 0-4. They're laying 9.5 originally, 8.5 now. The offense of the New York Giants is a league low 11.5 points a game. And the Cowboys give up 36.5 points a game.
At some point.
I would take the points before I would lay them here. I don't believe in Dallas at all. They are now in a half game back at 1-3 in the division. The NFC East is a fucking disaster. I don't know who's going to win it. I think you can obviously, as a book, you want to take bets on everybody. Everybody's still in it. 4 games in. I'll lead off with you, Lip.
My back connection's better.
Yeah, you're looking. Yeah,
Okay,
you're
sorry
looking
about
good.
that earlier. All right.
All right.
Again, Dave, I couldn't disagree with you anymore, which is the norm for us. All right, I like Dallas here. All right.
Beautiful.
If you look at a couple of their games this year against Atlanta and against Cleveland, they were buried early. I mean, they were down 20-something points in this game early in these games. If they get up on the Giants in this game, it's going to be a torch party. First of all, right now you said the line's 8.5. I would be running to the book and teasing Dallas with anything you like on the board. I do mean it. Their offense has not played bad at all. The only thing that, people love Dak Prescott, in these types of things or whatever. For 60 minutes in a game, he makes a lot of plays, a lot of mistakes. The Seattle game, when they gave up the touchdown, they got 2 minutes to come down. He couldn't orchestrate and, play from the pocket there. But in this game, I expect them – this is, to me, the biggest blowout of the weekend. I think the Giants get destroyed in this game. Their offensive line is complete garbage. And with that being said, Dallas actually has the ability to put pressure on the quarterback. Their back end is terrible. But I don't expect it to be, run over in this game. I like Dallas. I like Dallas on the card probably, on at least 4 or 5 of my cards, and definitely in teasers. If Dallas loses, I haven't had a drink in 15, 16 years. I may drink heavy because I'm going.
I'll join you. I'll be there with you. It'll be me and Tommy.
There you go. Me and you.
Guaranteed. I guarantee that.
All right.
You guys, I mean, that's a great breakdown right there. Makes me say, yeah, maybe to hold off on taking the Giants even on a teaser. But this sounds like a pleaser special, Mo.
Super
Dallas,
pleased.
Giants, nothing.
I don't know how many times, like dating back to I'm not even sure, maybe 6 years, where I thought taking points with the Giants against the Cowboys seemed fine. A lot of it was like the first night of like Sunday Night Football of Week 1. I don't know that Dallas and New York usually always played
Open, yep.
like they would either find a way to blow it or they would just get smoked in said game, no matter if it was like from 3.5 all the way to 7.5. That's just a personal thing because I hate the Giants right now, for God's sakes. But yeah, I guess it just sets up. You see the Giants play a pretty good game against a decent Rams team. Obviously, not too much offense, but they played pretty tough to stay within that game until they ended up, throwing that pick late and the Danny Dimes special. But considering now they have to play a team that's been getting blown out by better offensive teams, I can see what Tom's saying about, the Cowboys not playing from behind. Maybe they get up 20 points and, they don't let put the pedal to the metal, put their foot on their necks. The Cowboys need this win, man. With the Eagles winning against the Niners, they're not trying to be in the rear view of any of these teams in the NFCs. If it's the Cowboys, big or nothing.
AB, consensus?
Giants outright.
Oh, my.
Have another high noon right
High
there.
noon. Oh, yeah, this is it.
All these plays are brought to you by my drinking.
Oh, we're going to go to number one on the list as the
How can you
Bears are leading 20-19 with 38 seconds left.
Oh, God.
4-5.
Where are they at on the field?
They're approaching midfield. Still on the other side of the
He
50.
just overthrew somebody.
Yeah, Gronk, incomplete pass. All right, the last game. What did AB call it? From least to beast
Yeah, I like that.
today. I like this added. We're going with that for the run and shoot 7. Least to beast. This is the beast
This
of
is
them
4th
all.
and 5 right here, Dave.
4th and 5.
Oh,
Bears,
they're
down.
going to win the Super Bowl.
Knock it down, the Bears. Gonna hold on and win.
I feel like the Bears are going to win it all.
No flag. No
And
flag.
under.
There's no flag. Brady's looking for it. Can't find it.
He's like, do we get
Fourth
another
down.
4th down?
Yeah. What
4th down?
holding up 4 fingers. So we got Colts, Browns.
How are they
Holy shit.
4-1?
If you'd have told me Colts, Browns this week would be the number one beast mode game or whatever we're going to call it, it is. Colts minus 1.5 currently. Hovering 1.5. There's 2s occasionally. 46.5. Both teams 3-1. Both teams actually look pretty impressive. I was on Cleveland last week. I loved Cleveland last week, and I haven't loved Cleveland in 10 years. They're getting points at home. Very, very fishy to me. I'm going to say it again. Cleveland's going to win this game. The best division in football is the AFC North with Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Cleveland, and Cincinnati. I think the Colts, maybe a little overrated. I would side Browns. I'll go to you first, Tom. What do you think?
Excellent football game here. There's a couple of things that you really need to keep your eye on in this game. Number one is the superstar Darius Leonard for the Colts. He's dealing with a groin injury, and it's not just showing up on the injury report to show up. There's a very good possibility he doesn't go in this game. And if he doesn't go in this game, it's going to be a problem. Now, I will say with you, I didn't have too much of an opinion last week in the Dallas-Cleveland game. People that I really respect told me to get on Cleveland, and I did, which I was happy with in that game. I think Baker Mayfield is the type of player to me that is below average in this league. The last couple of weeks, he's looked a little bit better. I'm a little bit concerned with Chubb coming out of this game. It is at home, which you mentioned, Dave, and I think that that's going to be a big thing for them. Now, moving over to the Colts outside of the injury with Leonard potentially, probably the best offensive line in the game. The Colts offensive line is that good. So, I mean, regardless of being on the road or whatever, they're going to be that good. I was on Indy against Chicago last week heavy. They're the better team in that regard. Their defense is excellent, but you take Leonard out here. The concern I have for the Colts is very simple. Can they play from behind? If Cleveland gets up in this game, I love your son. No question. If the Colts get out to they're playing defense and running the ball, can Mayfield stay patient and play at an NFL level? I'm not sure. Injuries are going to really dictate what I look at on this card. I have multiple people that I respect that like both sides, but at this point, Dave, I am leaning to you. And if the injuries play out, Cleveland could play.
Boys, what do you got here? I mean, this is the number one game, AB. It's a tough call. There's a lot of things working. This is an in-game betting dream, I think. Tom just said it. If the Browns get up, you just go. You just keep playing it, right? You see it that way too?
Yeah, I think if the Browns are up, I think he's dead on with that. They feel like, with if they're down like 7-10 points, they need Rivers to go downfield a little more than I think the norm. And that's the question mark, I think, with that team. And also, like you said, if Leonard's out, like obviously defensively, they're going to suffer a little bit. And against the Cleveland team that seems pretty stacked offensively, looks like they're finally gaining some confidence. I mean, to win at Dallas is a very un-Cleveland Browns-like win, regardless of how much trouble Dallas is having. I think that confidence level, Beckham probably feels as good as he's felt as a Brown. A lot of things are going well for them at this point. So being 3-1 is a big deal for that squad, I think. So I tend to like Cleveland. I would have probably made Cleveland myself like a 1-point favorite in this game. But I definitely think it's obviously when you're at a 1 point, I mean, it's a pick 'em type of game. So, but yeah, I think Cleveland, especially if you could have got the points, I know that they've gone away already. There's picks pretty much everywhere at this point. So that should tell you.
Mo, say it. Who you got?
I just know I got slow rolled at work when it went up to 3 and then literally got chased back down to 1.5. So that made me mad.
You got to watch the ticker.
Oh, my God. Well, there's too many details. It wasn't a ticker thing, but it took me for a ride. These motherfuckers took me for a ride on this game. So, considering the only thing I can think of in this game is that the Browns have no pressure. Even at 3-1, no one's on the news media talking about Browns. Maybe they're going to break out. This is for a team that has been obviously in the spotlight of trying to be better. Not too many people are talking about him, even after a big win against Dallas like that. Maybe it's a pandemic thing. I'm not sure. I think this is better for them. I think this is big confidence for Baker, guys like that are, trying to stay underneath, trying to stay within themselves. I think it's big for this team. Considering a game like this, I don't really have a side to pick. I think the Colts are a great matchup against an offense like this. But, man, if the Browns do win a game like this, especially handily, watch out in the future. This could be a really good team.
They're not talking about him because all the media guys had to throw their tickets away on him last year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody's still pissed.
It's a perfect scenario for the Browns to get better while no one's noticing. It's
One thing I would mention, too, about this, when Cleveland, first of all, Indianapolis is very well coached. Cleveland is taking a step in the right direction here. This doesn't have an ego. People don't know much about him. That's how he wants it. He's making everything about the team. So I think they've made nice strides in that regard.
100%.
Cleveland more serious this year, for sure.
I agree. Yeah, I think so, too.
Well, my 5-year-old would have done a better coaching job than Freddie Kitchens. I think that alone, they're like, wow, this guy knows how to actually, go through a practice. This is incredible.
It's not even a troll because it's a fact. And I feel like it's something that we talked about. That is a real fact. I believe that could have been happening. I believe
Very true. All right, that's going to do it for the Run and Shoot 7. There's some other games on the card. Real quick, before we go and move on to Mo's college football minute or 2 minutes, whatever he's going to get this week. Cardinals, Jets. Tom, is this a game that's going to appear on your card? Yes or no?
This will definitely be on my card, no question, and it's going to be Arizona. And the reason being is
Thank you.
Yeah, and the reason being is very simple. Sam Darnold is trying to do everything he can in the offense. Well, he's not playing. Joe Flacco in today's football is not the answer. Somebody that sits back and tries to evaluate the field with no weapons. This is a real problem here. And listen, I grew up in Buffalo, New York, and Adam Gase went to the high school across the on the other side of town as me at the same time. Good coordinator, but he has no idea what he's doing. This is a reoccurring thing here. This guy's
every sharp in the world is on the Jets. They grabbed that plus 7.5
Right.
that was floating around,
Laid the
and I
6.5.
don't know why.
I took the 6. I laid the 6.5, and I'll be fine with that. And
Okay.
that's what I'm on.
All right. I just had that was the only one I had. The rest of the games, follow us on Twitter. DM me at sportsbkconsig. I'm getting DMs. I'm trying to get back to you guys. But DM the show too. GT's Cash Consider at GT Cash Consider, and maybe we'll have some other games. But I mean, your Bills. I don't know. They're going to play Tuesday. I mean, we thought the show was on Tuesday last week. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. Broncos, Patriots. Yeah. So, all right. College football. I know that Tom is pretty interested in college football, knows a little bit about college football. Mo, this is your time to shine. You gave us some gems last week. Minimal explanation necessary. We just want to know, the people want to know, at Heathy's Takes, college plays on the show. What do you got?
I think I have another 3 plays that I
Yes.
pray that get in, or somehow people are going to terrorize me, which I might be waiting for at some point, however that happens. Just to kick it off, Texas Tech plays Iowa State. Iowa State, great game against Oklahoma. Gets the win, big win for Matt Campbell, big win for the program. They lost to Louisiana Lafayette. Seems like they're kind of flying by right now. They're getting better as the days go on. They're laying right now, looks like 12.5, 13 right now against Texas Tech at home. This team's going to continue to roll. Texas Tech's defense doesn't know what's happening right now, and it looks like Alan Bowman might be out for Texas Tech going into this game. Matt Wells brings in a guy he had, Colombi from Utah State. He's going to do nothing. Iowa State by 20, 24 points easy in this game.
Ooh, number one. What else?
Cyclones. Syracuse plays Duke in the Dome. Syracuse played 2 tough teams already before they got their win against Georgia Tech, which was – I don't know how Georgia Tech would be favored by 7 against anyone on the road. But they played Boston College. Actually, not Boston College. I'm trying to think about the teams they played. North Carolina first, which was a tough game. And then Pittsburgh, 2 tough teams, 2 top 40 teams in the country. Defense is really great. Syracuse, they're a gritty team. I think defensively they're playing real well. Unfortunately, not too much of America seeing that. But against a team like Duke, who's probably one of the worst offenses in the country, them getting 2.5 or any points at home seems ridiculous. I think Syracuse wins this game handily, and I think they have some things to look at when Chase Bryce is going to be taking snaps for Duke. So Syracuse should win that game, in my opinion.
Money line, outright. What else?
I have to give out a Conference USA play. We got to spin the wheel of hurt.
Spin the wheel!
And it never changes. I think it's something that I've been thinking about since the beginning of the week. At Circa, we opened this game pretty low. We opened Marshall -2, and they destroyed us and bet it all the way up to 6.5, 7.5. We were okay with our number. And for me, I think it's going to be a closer game. Marshall, they already beat App State. I don't think App State is as good as advertised with their 3rd head coach in like 3 years. It's pretty absurd, even for a team that's pretty good with the continuity that they have. But Western Kentucky, Ty Helton's a pretty decent coach. Their pace that they play at is pretty slow, so it can even up with Marshall. And then getting those points at home, I think right now should be, pretty key in a game where pace and points are going to be needed. So, if Western Kentucky can get ahead in a game like this, I think 7's all right. If they lose, by 3 or 4, I can understand that. But taking the points of Western Kentucky seems okay in my opinion.
I like it. Was Metcalf's number that low too?
Yeah, I think we aimed it to be a little bit lower. I think my number was 4 in that game.
Okay.
Marshall -4. So we had no problem taking the bets up, but we figured that the number wasn't probably as good as we thought it was when we put it out. So
fair enough. I know Metcalf.
We're gonna get that money. We're gonna get that money.
I know Metcalf and you go back, Tom, as well, and I know you helped the move and everything else. So
I know everybody.
I know. I know. That's a good thing. You got any college stuff you want to mention before we move on?
Yeah, I mean, one game I'll give to you. It's game 355, Charlotte, North Texas.
Of course it is.
Ooh, Conference USA. Bam! Yeah, right on.
So am I supposed to turn my thing like upside down to the ceiling? Just bet the over.
Don't move the camera.
That was excellent.
Here's where it's going, everybody. Here's where it's going.
There it is.
Out there.
That's it. Over.
Ceiling play in
love it.
college. What was the game number? I don't want to mess it up.
355.
355, 356. A late night start for Charlotte, North Texas. That could be the get-back game for a lot of people. There's a lot of people that listen to the show. There it is. We're going over. We're going.
Case. Win, 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 right?
That's it. Oh, I love it. All right. We got to move on. We got to go to NBA. Conversation is going to be brief, quick, and to the point. Heat are done. Yes, it's over. We're finally got the line right. 7.5. It was pure pain for anyone that had the Lakers last game. Although the Heat were the right side of the game the whole game. They were covering, the Lakers were covering. Hero bombs that shot that means nothing except to everyone that bet it, and the Heat cover. 216.5 is the total. It's been anywhere between 216.5 and 219 the whole series. AB, is it over? Is this the last NBA game we're going to see in the bubble?
Pass.
All right, there we go. Tom, I know NBA, not a big fan, but you watch it. You watch the numbers. Is it over on next game?
Yeah, I mean, I bet a lot on the Clippers futures for the West and for the to win it all. So I've taken it the wrong way here. I'm going to pass.
Mo, Lakers or die? It's easy, right? Is it done?
You know my style with Lakers, but Matt Peralt said LeBron was done. I'm bringing this shit up every time.
Yeah.
He said, Peralt could easily, anyone can score on the Blazers. I'm getting on him at all times. I'm like, this guy is the best. He's the best in the world. How can you? He ripped him. You fucking ripped him.
He did. Our friend of the show, Matt Peralt, at Sports Talk Matt, he is available for Twitter. He does his show, and we will mention to him, Mo, that the Lakers are going to win the NBA championship being led by LeBron one more time.
Simple.
Major League Baseball, fellas, we got National League. It's right now 8-2 Dodgers, 6th inning.
Simulation.
They're going to close this out. Padres were a fun team to watch. And
what's the inning? Sorry.
6th. It's over.
Casey gave me under Padres team total. It's still alive.
Okay, there you go. There's always a bet still live, Mo. I like that. There's always a sweat. But we got Dodgers and Braves for the NLCS. Fun watch. First of all, before we move on, do any of you have a problem with anything that went on in Game 2? Guys tossing bats. Machado hits a home run to go, bring him back 4-2. He's fuck you to everybody. He's trying to get his boys fired up. Bellinger makes an unbelievable catch, and the pitcher, I can't even remember his name, but I ain't never seen nobody throw a hat and his glove. I mean, he would have did a cartwheel into his own
I thought he was
dugout.
going to take his shirt off.
I don't give a shit. If the batters can do that, the pitchers can do that. I got no problem with it. It's like watching the Caribbean World Series. It's fun as could be.
Yeah.
I don't, right? I mean, AB.
It's a sport, right?
Right?
Let's have fun. This is incredible. I'm like, it's about time. Like I want to see some passion out of these guys. Let's go.
You have to be the one. I like when people celebrate, except for Golden Tate. That's the only person I
second that.
But you have to be the guy that makes the play. I understand. He almost gave up the home run.
Oh right.
Would you have thrown your hat off and your glove off if you would have gave that to Tatis?
Yeah.
No. So I get the happiness. But Bellinger should have ripped his shirt off. I would have went hell, if Bellinger did it, I'm losing my shit. But the pitcher who we don't know the name of, and Dave knows all the players, he's the one doing it, which is insane. I like when Machado, I would have got mad. I would have been like, why is he almost gave up the bomb. This guy almost gave up the bomb. So, that's how I felt about it. I watched the whole game. It was insane.
Reynolds, you're a baseball guy a little bit. I mean, you're a Yankee guy.
Oh, that was just.
You got it. You have a problem with this?
No, I don't care at all. Like I do find it funny that Mo is kind of pissed, being like, hey, you can't celebrate, because your boy made a good catch, when Mo is like the ultimate hype man.
Yes.
Mo 100% would be the guy that's my boy just made it.
No, that's probably true. I would have done it maybe, but considering Machado yelling, I understood. I knew why he got it. I felt it.
I mean, Tom,
anything that draws eyes to baseball, they should really just, be ecstatic and be like,
encourage it.
It's very,
This is the kids. The kids love it, and I love it. And I'm an old curmudgeon baseball fan. Do more of this shit. Tom, do you have any baseball futures still live?
Yeah, I do. I took the Yankees at 5-1 to win the AL. That's all I played. And
Okay.
I'm a Braves fan. I didn't get involved with it. I mean, to be quite honest with you, it's a sport I don't spend a lot of time on. I do get some info, but everything that you guys are talking about, I really am naive on most of all of it. To be quite honest with you, I would probably say since the beginning of the start of the season till now, I've probably watched 2.5 innings of baseball the entire time. So that shows where I'm at. I'm clueless.
I'm in the same boat, but I did watch this game and I seen what happened.
Well, you're clueless anyway.
As far as Tommy's concerned, I don't watch any baseball either. Zero. But Machado was right, in my opinion. That's how I feel.
They're all right. That's my point. They're getting paid millions of dollars to play a game. Like, enjoy yourselves. Talk shit. Let's have some fun. Fuck.
especially in the playoffs. Like the
yeah.
grind of
In
the
the
regular
pandemic.
season.
Yeah,
it's
if it's
very,
like
very
game
hard.
9, we don't need bat flips. But yeah, if you're hitting 3-run bombs in the bottom of the 8th to take the lead, I mean, if you throw it at the manager, I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I'm okay with that too. Me too. Yeah, I'm all for that. I don't care.
Serrano hit a big home run and he walked with the bat to second base. I don't know if you guys
Hell yeah. That's right. Who's favored? I mean, what's the line? Just thinking out loud. Dodgers, Braves, series price. Just under $2.
I was going to say 220.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, Dodgers
All right.
$2 seems right, in my opinion.
All right. And Tom, I'm going to ask you, but I'm sure you may be, you may pick up a couple Twitter followers from doing the show at Lippard Tom. Someone may reach out and ask you. Feel free to chime in with the series price, but the NL or the AL Astros won't go away. Now they're back to fucking what they were doing last year. They're the ultimate heel. You want to talk about a wrestling thing? They are the ultimate heel. They're probably going to win the AL. There's almost no question. It doesn't matter. I want to see the Yankees or the Rays beat them. I was really hoping for Rays and A's to get 2/3 of the Fonzie parlay in for the AL that we talked about. But who's favored? If it's I'll go to you with the future alive, A's Yankees or A's Rays. Who's favored, Tom?
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah. Okay. that's great. I don't either.
I have the Yankees 5-1 for the AL, and that's as much as I know.
That's it.
Did it win? Cool. I'm going to go down there and cash it. Did it lose? All right, I'm going to throw this away.
I'm not going to watch it play, so I have no idea.
Are you gonna lay the other side with if the Yankees get to the ALCS? Were you looking to bet the other side at all?
No, this is just a pure gamble.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Nothing better
I
than
like
that.
it.
All I'm going to say is this when it comes to the Astros. I want to see their cleats because I think the buzzers are in the cleats now.
We got to do a shoe check.
Yeah. I want everything checked. They got to go through the TSA things when they hit the dugout, man. We got to stand there like this with your arms up, empty your pockets.
You gotta do the
pro. Not believing this is real.
You got to do the pro wrestling referee where they check the boots, they check the
Yeah, but they do a terrible job. The guy always seems to have something.
Always has something. Oh my God.
Peter's always
all right. Mo, are you going to bet another baseball game? And don't lie. I know you said last week. You're not betting it. Why bet it? People are crazy. You got to be like Tom over here. He literally said, I ain't watching it. I ain't betting it. He's watched 2 innings. You're sitting in a room, and you're an action guy. Are you betting?
Well, I respect Tom because of what he said. I watch no baseball. Zero to, as far as in the risk room, I'm always watching it. But Yeah, my last couple of days off, I watched like 4 baseball games. It was insane. I mean, betting these games, which I did well in, even more insane. I don't know what's happening. A lot of these overs are flying, and I'm betting them all.
Yep.
Bellinger robbed me twice of 2 plays in the same game, the game I watched, and the motherfucker cheering that he almost gave up the bomb. I don't understand, but yeah, I have to bet more baseball. All the people that I wronged did for saying that they were fucking, assholes for still betting it and crying about it, I was wrong, and I apologize. So I'm happy to keep betting it, man.
We gotta wrap it up. We're gonna go to take a minute. Before we do, I'll give you a chance to gather yourselves and get ready to do it. But I want to mention, we talk about the Gaming Today digital subscription, yet we should also mention how it all got started. The Vintage Gaming Today print edition can be found in virtually every sportsbook in Nevada, as well as sportsbooks and casinos in 9 other states. You get award-winning content, analysis, stats, selections, gaming industry news, casino news, and more from Oregon to Pennsylvania. It's Gaming Today in vintage print form. If your favorite book doesn't carry it, ask management to contact support@gamingtoday.com. You can also email or DM Howard at Gaming Today News on Twitter. He's giving out plays. He got me last week with that horse play. We all got on it. Mo don't know. But he came back today with a really good horse play. Popped a big exact. I can't remember which track. But follow him along on there for horse plays as well. All right. We got 1 minute. We'll go to the boys first before we go to Tom. AB, kick it off. 1 minute. Take a minute. Ready, set, go.
I hate the Bears so much.
Yes.
Like, they're 4-1, and they should be 0-5, and I don't care what anyone says. They're going to do what they always do. They're going to win 12 or 13 games, and they're going to lose their first playoff game because that's what they do. And so I'm thinking we don't have the 2 buys this year. So the Packers are going to be the 2, and they're going to be the 7, and they're going to lose 41-7 in the first round. Mark it down. Take, as my man likes to say.
Excellent. Put it in the notes, Reynolds. There you go. All right. Mo. Ready, set, go.
The Aces lost in tragic fashion. Obviously, that needs to be brought up, so I'm going to just say it as that, I did have a great year, or a great time betting on WNBA through the pandemic and making my numbers. It was excellent. I'm going to continue to do that for the rest of my life.
Did you put your futures out? Sorry.
Oh, my bad. Mercury, you're terrible. So anyway, also,
I mean for next year.
Oh, soon. You'll be the first to know. 2 people I want to shout out because they're losing faith in me from a friendship standpoint, which is ridiculous because I don't understand how that's possible. But Maith Linderman, Lindy Train, my guy. These are obviously jokes, by the way. I must shout him out. We are getting ready to start our own podcast just strictly about the Conference USA soon. And I don't know when that's going to happen, but it's going to be soon. And my homegirl, Ray, Ray.
Yep,
she's cool. She said she's going to have material for me on the show because I'm terrible at what I do is what she thinks. She never told me that that's how I just feel about it.
Okay.
Which she could be right, whatever. But yeah, I love them both, so I figure I'll shout them out in a minute.
Excellent. All right. He's at %Berg on Twitter, Alan Berg. He is at He These Takes on Twitter. Really good stuff. I actually have it in the notes that was going to be part of my Take a Minute segment. Aces are over, but I had some other things there as well because I was hoping you were going to bring it up. So I'm glad you did. Tom, no pressure, but I mean, fantastic job. 16-3-1 in the Westgate contest. Second place overall. Tremendous analysis. A lot of fun. You got 1 minute to say whatever you want to whomever you want about whatever you want. Ready, set, go.
All right. Well, everybody enjoys the NFL, and everybody watches the NFL, and everybody's going to bet the NFL. So we've come to the conclusion that to bet the NFL, you have to have the right theory. And the right theory for years has been teasing the NFL. Anytime you get the chance with a 1.5, a 2, or a 2.5, point favorite, you tease the dog through the 3 and 7 number. Vice versa. If a team is favored by 7.5, 8, or 8.5, you tease the favorite down through the 3 and 7 number every time. I don't care what you think of the game. I don't care what your strategy is involved. It doesn't mean anything. Tease the game. Make money in the NFL. If you can find minus 110, wonderful. If you can't, lay minus 120. If you have places that leave open bets where you can bet one side and leave the other side open, do that. It's as simple as that. You will make money every single year in the NFL, and you'll enjoy it.
Wow. I mean, boys,
this guy is the greatest. I don't care what you think of the game. This is my best.
What do you guys need?
I don't give a fuck what
do you guys need? You must need something.
No, that's it. Yeah, it's actually,
I love it. He is at Lippard Tom. That's Lippard Tom. Dude, there's listeners all over the country, all over the world, actually. We got people listening in other countries, and there's going to be people making plays on teasers that, like, this guy Lip said, you know, it's good. So that is some good shit. We're going to bring him back, I think, Masters Week, preview week, because I know you're going to have some takes on some golf, and we're probably going to talk then. All right, so my Take a Minute segment is really going to start right now. We talked about the baseball. Celebrating is great. If you don't like it, fuck off. You're not paying any attention. Second of all, I got to shout out a couple of our listeners. We got a couple reviews. Finally, we got a YouTube review. We got another review on iTunes. At Carl Haskell. He's up in New Hampshire. Been listening to the show for a long time. Carl, thank you. At Golfer 2314. That's Nick. He's at Penn State. He's from Philly. He's at Penn State. And Nick, I know you keep DMing me and we're talking a lot. You know the Steelers are going to beat the Eagles this week. Just forget about even trying. But listen to what Lip said and bet the Eagles on the teaser and take them up to 14.5 points.
I don't think that's what he said at all.
no.
I'm not listening to the show. You guys got to listen to the show. All right. The last thing is I'm teaching my daughters to drive a car.
Dave. I know.
17 and 15 years old. We got our permits and we're driving a car. God bless all of you driver's ed teachers for sitting in the passenger seat with someone driving a car for the first few times. I'm doing it without that fucking brake pedal. I don't know how much longer I can do it, boys. I have no idea. If I don't be able to do the show, it's because I was out driving with the kids. That's going to do it for the show. Tom, thanks for joining us. Really great stuff. The mustache, on top of it all, the mustache for the YouTube viewers is perfect right now. You trimmed that shit up. Yeah, it looks really good.
I enjoyed it. Thank you, Dave.
All right. We're going to do the wraparound. Reynolds producing the show. I am Reynolds 2305. Alan Berg at % Berg. Motoy Pearson at He These Takes. I am Sportsbook Consigliere, which is at SportsBK Consig. And yes, Reynolds, all guys on my baseball team would have beards and mustaches. There's no question. Thanks for joining us. We'll talk to you guys next week.